Hey guys, today we dive deep into the ultimate face-off between youth versus wisdom, time versus experience, energy versus control, young versus old. So ask yourself, are you living in the fast lane of youth, or are you cruising down the wise lane of experience? Today we're going to break it down into 4 different seasons, find out where you're at, what you can do to improve, make it better, mistakes you've made. Let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about it. So, in this face off, we're going to split it up into 4 seasons. The first season sets it up, then we're going to get into youth, then we're going to get into wisdom, and the last season that closes us out. We're going to point out the important things between youth, the important things between wisdom, and then we're going to decide who wins. And trust me, you'll be surprised at the end. So, without further ado, we begin with the first season, which is the spring of life. You are born. And this season continues all the way up to age 18. Because this is where you're growing up, you're a kid. Most of our fondest and best memories come from this time. Because just remember, you were happy, you were learning a lot of new things, you were discovering, you were very curious. But also, this could be a very challenging time because this is where you build your core beliefs, and those core beliefs are given to you by your parents, by your culture, by your community, your friends, everything that's around you. Later on, I'm going to make a different video about this because I believe this is very important because a lot of the problems that we have in life, a lot of the things that we struggle with stem from that beginning, whether it was good or bad. But we're going to move on from this season because we're trying to get to the second season, which is the summer of life. And that's what youth is. This period is between 18 and 40. This is a part of your life where you take a lot of risks. This is the part of your life where you have a lot of opportunities, where you can take those adventures, but it's also a time where you're going to hit that learning curve. Now, 3 things you should focus on, and these are the things to pay attention to, so you can make the best of the season. The first one is what to expect. Peak energy. You're going to have a lot of energy. I remember in this season of my life, I would get up, I would go work an 8-hour shift, come back, work out, go back outside, play with my friends. We would play a pickup game of soccer, basketball, whatever was good at that time. I would come back home, we would watch a movie or two, have a few drinks. I would go to sleep late. And then the next day I would wake up and it was like magic. It was like I was a superhero. I wouldn't feel anything. My batteries were completely charged. And then I would get up and do it all over again. That was awesome. And I do miss that. I'm not going to lie. Me being 42 now and being in the second phase, which we're going to get there in a few minutes, but dude, it was awesome. Now, what to focus on? This is very important because this is where you begin to build skills, meaningful relationships. This is where you take risk in life, whether it's in your career, personal goals, whether you want to go into a trade job. This is a very important season because this is where you're going to establish your foundation for the next season in your life. You don't want to miss out on opportunities because time goes by very fast. You want to be very focused on what you want in life. And you had, when you were born, all the way up to 20, if you want to push it up to that, to have fun, to go around with your friends, to spend your money on dumb things. I believe that's a time where you kind of have a hall pass to mess up on. But when you hit those 20s, from your 20s to your 40s, this is when you really have to get serious. And I'm telling this for all the people that are in that season of their life right now. Get serious, get focused, look at what's really important in your life. Is it a career? Is it a trade? Am I just going to work myself to death and then accumulate all this money, save up all this money to start implementing that into my purpose or my dream or business or whatever I want to build? This is that season. And unfortunately, this is a season that a lot of people tend to squander. And I'll just give you guys my story. My 20s and 30s were spent working, having kids. I had 3 kids between this. I had 3 kids in this season. Well, not me personally, my wife. You know how that is. And I mean, looking back, I probably would have waited more time to have kids. But at this time, I didn't know anything about life. My parents didn't teach me about having ambition, about having goals, about setting up a foundation this season for the next one. My parents, they didn't go to school. They went to elementary school if they were lucky. And growing up, my parents, all they did was work. Their theory on life is work, buy things, enjoy it as much as you can, and then you die. And that's what I learned. I thought I was supposed to do the same thing. I thought I was supposed to work my butt off, have kids, have a family, pay the bills, and that was it. There was really nobody around me to tell me or show me that there's a different way that you can do things. You know, that if you have ambitions in life, if you have a purpose, it can be achieved. So in my early 20s and then into my 30s, I spent a lot of time playing video games, a lot of time watching movies. I love to watch movies. And then the phone really took off. So then I spent more time doing that. I mean, I talk about that in my one of my previous videos about the dangers of digital addictions and how much that took out of me, how much time I was wasting. So with the kids, with all this time I was spending on digital distractions. And then the third thing that I messed up on was just material things. You know, my parents didn't teach me how to save. I didn't want to save. I just wanted to spend my money and buy things. And that's what I did. I bought a bunch of CDs, DVDs. I mean, those things are dinosaurs now. A lot of people don't even know what that is. I spent a lot of money on clothes, on cars, whatever you can think of, I bought it. I spent it. I squandered it. So when you have these 3 things in combination, I can look back and see how I messed up, how I had nothing to show for myself or my family or my life in this time. I didn't really get this through my head until I was 38. And I didn't really get serious until I was 40. So those are some of the things that you need to watch out for. Those are the mistakes that I made. Those are the mistakes that set me back. But the worst of it was that I squandered time. Time doesn't come back. I wasted about 18 years of my life going nowhere. I mean, some of the positive things is I was a good father, stuck around. I like many of the fathers now around. I raised my kids, have a happy relationship with my wife. But as far as building a legacy, as far as building my foundation, so I can build a house upon that, something that I can something that I can pass on to the next generation, I didn't do jack squat. So take that as a warning. If you're in that season of your life, learn from my mistakes, learn from the things that I did wrong, and focus that time into something more productive. Build something that's going to help you in your later years. But at the end of the day, this is a part of your life where you have a lot of time, you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of motivation, but you're kind of dumb. You don't know a lot of stuff, but that's the whole point. This is a season where you mess up. This is where you take risks. This is where you try things. And if you mess up, then you start all over again. So build something, focus on something that you can make grow, that can make you money, that can bring you purpose, fulfillment in your life. This is the season of your life where you get things started. This is where you plant. This is where you build. This is where you take off. So let's move on to the next season, which we're going to call this the fall season or autumn, if you want to call it that. This is where the wisdom years start to take off. So this is a season between 40 and 65. This, I believe, is the best years of your life because you still have your health, you still have good energy, but at the same time, you're smarter, you have gained all this knowledge, you are more wise now from failing, trying things, learning from them, implementing them, and growing from them, and hopefully succeeding. So some of the things that we do during the wisdom years is applying everything that you have learned into your life. You also make smarter decisions because you have learned a lot of things. You've messed up a lot, but you've also learned. And now you're actually building that home. That foundation that you built from 20 to 40, now you begin to build on. So in this age group or in this season of your life, you start seeing patterns in your life. From the decisions that you made, from the habits that you created in the last season, this season, you really begin to see them. Whether they were good or whether they were bad, you start seeing this. Hopefully you made the right choices and now you have something to build on. Another thing you begin to see in this season is now you finally begin to understand the decisions you've made. Did you make good choices in the last season to set you up for this season? Did you take care of your health? And if you did, then in this season of your life, you feel so much better, you have more energy, less visits to the doctor, less pills to take, less medicine. Did you take care of your money in the last season? Did you set up a system where you're able to save, where you're able to buy your home, pay off your car? Were you able to invest? What kind of decisions or moves did you make in the last season with your money to set you up for this season? And if you made the right choices, then this season is all about accumulating wealth. It just keeps going up, 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 up. And another thing is, and I believe this is the most important one, is now you have a clear view of what really matters in your life. You finally realize that other people really don't matter. What they think doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this race is run by you, not by anybody else. You finally see what's important in your life, whether it's your family, whether it's your career, whether it's your purpose in life. You finally have a clear picture of what you really want in life. And you're no longer trying out new things because now you are focused completely on what you're trying to achieve. Now you have certain goals. Everything becomes more clear now that you're at this age group. So I wish I could share some of the things I've learned during this season of my life, but unfortunately, I am currently in this season of my life. And one thing I can share with you guys is that I got late into the game. Right now, I'm doing the things that I should have done in my 20s and 30s. So listen closely if you're in your 20s and 30s. Right now, currently, I am working a full time job of 40 hours, a part time job of 28 hours, and then my side hustle, which takes anywhere between 6 to 10 hours, sometimes even more, a week. And then you tack on YouTube, which I do on the side because I love it. So I should have been doing this in my early 20s, in my 30s. And if I had done that, that would have set up my life so much better than it is now. Because, like I said, I really didn't start changing my life until I was in my 40s. That's when it finally hit me that I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't doing anything. And I was just getting tired of working, getting tired of the rat race. So I finally got so tired of it that I said, you know what? I want to get out of here. I want to build something great. I want to build an empire, a legacy. And in order to do that, first step is to get out of debt. And a great way to get out of debt is to work your butt off. And I chose to do that by taking on all these jobs, all these hours, and I'm finally making progress on that. Paid off my truck. I'm almost done paying off my mortgage, paying off that other car loan and a personal loan. That is my goal right now in life. After that, I would like to get into investing in real estate and just seeing what other options I have because I've never been there. Ever since I can remember, and a lot of you guys are in this boat, is I've always been in debt. I've always had a car loan, home loan, credit cards. I've always been a slave to the system. I've never known what it's like to be completely debt free, to owe nothing to anybody. And if you are going to get in debt, it should be with something that makes you money, with something that's going to build over time and make you rich. And that's something that I learned late. So to all of you guys, all you youngsters, all you young Thundercats coming up in life, take that lesson from me. Start now. Don't start late like I did. So just some other tips I can give you in this season of life. Most importantly, take care of your health. Because, like I said, this could be the best time of your life if you do things right. Take care of your health, clean up your diet, take care of your money. Do what you have to do to set yourself up for the last season of your life. And we get to the end, which is the winter season or the harvest season, if you want to make it sound a little nicer. So, this is the season of your life. This is where you enjoy the fruits of your labor, live in the home of your dreams. This is where everything you work for pays off. This is where all of us want to be, in a place where you're able to get up in the morning. Let's say, for example, at 65, where you're starting this season, you get up in the morning and you ask yourself this question: what am I going to do today? And you answer that question by saying, whatever the hell I want. That is the goal. This is a season where you use your experience to mentor younger people. And remember, only if they ask. Okay? Don't just go around telling people, like, oh, this, that. No, only if they ask. Okay? So now that we're at the end, who wins? Who wins the face off? Is it youth with all that energy, with all that power? Or is it wisdom? Is it the knowledge? Is it the control? So at the end of the day, it's a tie. Nobody wins. You know why? Because each season has its own value. You can't pick one or the other. You're going to live both. You're going to be young and you're going to be old. You're going to live both phases of life. So the best thing you can do right now is reflect on your journey. Where are you right now? As you're climbing that mountain, are you in the season of youth or are you now in the season of wisdom? Where are you in your journey? So it's very important for you to sit back and reflect and see where you're at. See where all the decisions that you made in your life have taken you. Are you doing things right? Are you doing things wrong? Can you improve on this? Can you change this? What changes can you make in your life right now to make your journey better? Because at the end of the day, it's not youth versus wisdom. Because you need both. Because you will go through both. At the end of the day, it's time that is a real enemy. It's you versus time. Time will be your ultimate, most feared enemy in this life. Because time is ruthless. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going. Every day. When you wake up to when you go to sleep, time doesn't stop. It is relentless. It doesn't care if you're tired, doesn't care if you're happy, if you're going through something hard, something horrible. It doesn't care. But take a lesson from time. Just like time is ruthless and relentless and ravenous, you have to become the same way. You have to attack life. You have to attack time. And how do you do that? By living your life. Living your life the way you want it. By having purpose, by building, by hitting your goals, by succeeding. Because these things are the things that are going to make you happy. Not like me, that I was in my 20s and 30s and buying all these things and squandering all this time on digital things, which I thought that was going to make me happy. And it just made me depressed. Because I wasn't doing anything. I was building characters in video games and making them strong, making them smarter, killing the bosses, passing the game. But in the game of life, I wasn't doing anything. So take a look at your life. Measure it. Look at that map. Where are you? Where are you going? Where are you going to be in the next few years? Take time for yourself. Draw yourself a great roadmap for your future and do everything that you want in this life. Remember, no regrets. So take care, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found anything at all interesting or you learned anything, help me out by hitting that like and subscribe button. It's going to be a long journey. We're going to have a lot of these talks. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Alright guys, take care. I'll see you next time.